this section, next section, it's just review, addition of real numbers. Next, it's subtraction of real numbers. We can use calculators. It's not like 8th grade where when we do this, you got to learn the rules because you don't get a calculator. So, but you do need to know the rules. Add rules, one of two things happens. Signs are the same, which means they're both positive or both negative. Obviously, if you got 6 plus 3, it's just 9. Negative 6 plus negative 3 is negative 9. If the signs are the same, you add them and then keep the sign. If the signs are different, you subtract them, right? So if you got negative 6 plus 2,
That'd be negative 4.
that'd be negative 4. You subtract them and then keep the sign of the bigger number because there's more of them.
Dirt.
Okay? So here they show how to do it on a number line. Again, we can use calculators. A lot of these you can just do in your head. But if you start off with a negative 2, then you add a negative. Add means go right, but then negative means do the opposite. You got to go left 7. Puts you at negative 9. And then you add 10, which means you got to go 10 this back to the right. And it puts you at 1. Now, the easy way to do this in your head is adding doesn't matter what order you do it in. Subtraction does. You remember what the name of that property is? Commutative. Yep. Commutative. Adding is commutative, which today you do have to recognize commutative and associative. But this one you wouldn't have to switch the order. If you combine the two negatives, they're the same sign, so you just add them up and you get negative 9. Then negative 9 plus 10, the signs are different, so you subtract them, keep the sign at a bigger number. So this is just the add rules. Properties of addition. Commutative. Doesn't matter what order you add them in. Multiplication is also commutative, but subtraction and division is not. The way it's written is A plus B equals B plus A. It doesn't matter what order you add them in. 3 plus negative 2, you could just go negative 2 plus 3. Associative. So the difference between these two is commutative is you can switch the order. Associative is the order stays the same. What you do is you switch the parentheses.
You know that you spell orders wrong.
Yeah, there's no R in them.
Where?
Or D's and or D.
In both of them.
Okay? So, if you got A plus B plus C, remember the order stays the same. It's just you move the parentheses from these two to those two. Okay? And that also is true in multiplication, but not in subtraction or division. Identity. Like your identity is who you are. A number's identity is what it is. A plus 0 is A. Negative 4 plus 0 is negative 4. So the identity property is you just add 0 to it. When we get to the multiplication identity, 6 times what stays 6?
6 times
1.
1. So the additive identity is 0, the multiplicative identity is 1. And then property of 0 is just opposites. If you add opposites, you get 0. 5 plus negative 5 is 0. So we do have, it's only 4 problems, I think, in today's assignment, where they give you an example like this, and you got to say what the property is.
Yay.
Did they use commutative? So it would be written like this. If you saw this in the problem, you would just put commutative. If you saw this in the problem, you would just put property of 0. If you saw this, you'd put
I like it.
identity. Okay? So, again, you can use calculators on these, but a lot of the problems are set up where you can do them in your head. Like here, you could do parentheses first, then add these, but if you notice, if you added these two first, 2.3 and 4.7 is 7. If you can't do it in your head, you just line it up, you'd get 7.0. And 7 plus 1.2 is 8.2. Again, you can use a calculator, but if you can go ahead and do it quick, do that too. Like this one. Negative 2/3 and a positive 2/3 would just cancel each other out. So the answer is just 6. Okay? So look for opposites. They have a lot of those in there. Here, if you added these two, 1.2 and 2.8 adds up to 4. And then a negative 8 plus 4 is negative 4. 3/4 and a negative 3/4 would cancel each other out. They make 0, so the answer is just 3. So really all of this, except for the part where you got to name the property, is just using your calculator. It's just all adding. But again, look for the shortcuts, so it just goes quicker for you.